Hi everybody, this is celebrationsoflifemagazine.com. Wanted to bring to you the September issue is coming up. What you're looking at right now is the August issue. Wanted to do a run through before we take it down to update for September. So we had a couple articles in August regarding nature and how going out in nature is really good for you. If you want, there is a couple videos regarding getting out in nature. I created this magazine with the hopes to make the end of life a celebration, creating safe conversations around death and dying, learning about all things funerary. Because we're not the only ones in this wide globe. There's everybody. Eventually, we all die. It's not morbid, it's just a fact. So we've got culture, we've got history, we've got fashion, we've got flowers. There are different types of funeral, depending on where you live, in different countries, in different parts of countries. Food is big, art is inspired by death, and much, much more. So again, this is the first issue that was put out for August 1st. The September issue will be going up shortly after we revamp. So I do have a sense of humor. There is a warning. This will stay up. Picture might change. But there is a sense of humor about this. I can't be all doom and gloom. That's not fair to life. Now, I did get the opportunity to study a culture of Sweden for the September issue in August. There is just this blurb to let you know it's going to happen. Then we've got loud fashion, which is a fact. People wear some crazy things to crazy places, and this was no exception. These are cats. I know it's kind of hard to see, but there's its ears, there's its body, little white cat, little black calico markings, I guess we'll call it. And this, of course, is easier to figure out. That's lemons. But with this lime green background, that's quite interesting to see. Now, I do also have a Pinterest page where you'll be able to click to down here or up at the top, an Instagram page, and a Facebook page so that you can follow along. I post 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, on average. I can't say what time of day because that's irrelevant, but I do post 3 times a week, and there is a YouTube channel to go along with this, which we take some nature walks. And I also advertise some Etsy people. I've reached out, kind of curated them. Joanne Design Boutique does stationery. Memorial Candles does some really pretty candles with the flowers that might have been put at your person's funeral. This one's out of the United Kingdom. She does some pretty little glass robins. And there are urns, wood-made urns, by Dances with Wolves. So if you go to the website, www.celebrationsoflifemagazine.com, you can click on any of these, and that will take you straight to their page. See? Isn't that fascinating? Now we'll go back. So again, if you need to email me, you can email me at celebrationsoflifemagazine@gmail.com if you are interested in knowing what the upcoming months ahead are all about and contributing an article. Now, this article I found in Psychology Today. I'm going to glaze through it because I didn't put the whole article up because that's probably not legal. But it was regarding getting out into nature. So get out into nature. It's a proven fact. It reduces stress, helps depression, gives you memory retention, helps with post-traumatic stress disorder, and last but not least, because there's a lot more in between, gives you higher levels of creativity. And we all could use that at this fabulous time frame. Now, that was posted in September of 2019, Psychology Today. You can go on their website. picture of landscape. Now, this lady I found on my LinkedIn, she wanted to celebrate her mom, so she had put this up on her LinkedIn, and so I asked if I could post it to move that forward and celebrate her as well, and she allowed me to do so. So if there is someone that you want to celebrate, I don't mind putting that up. That is pretty much what we are all about. This is a red-headed crane. I'm sure there's a fancier real name for them, but we have them all over Florida, and they usually are in pairs. It's really sad when you see one of them die. They usually have one offspring a year, and so this one likes to eat peanuts. He's outside of my previous employer. And so, again, it's about taking nature walks. I do have a YouTube platform. There will be this button still. I'm going to link to go to my YouTube channel. So there will probably be another one, not just this singular one. And you can see some nature walks we take. If you have a hard time getting out in nature yourself, please join us. We're happy to take you along for the chat. Now, again, these are the wooden urns I was showing you earlier by Dances with Urns. And again, this is from an Etsy shop. So just click the link here. It'll take you right to it. He is offering a 10% discount, and just give him that code and he'll be happy to share with you. Now, yes, these are smaller. As you can see, that is a quarter. But at the end of the day, I mean, how big do you need an urn to be? So it's kind of cool. Some of these are resin, some of these are turquoise inlay. Just really fascinating work that he does. He hand makes them, so you can't go wrong supporting local artists. So summer was technically August. Technically we're still summery, so it's gonna say summer fall here next. But right now, I think it's still summer. It is still August. Just an FYI. So, plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed. Yes, that comes from the Bible. Yes, I do make references, and so you will see that. If you are anti-Bible, I am sorry for you, but don't let that stop you from perusing the magazine. It's not specifically a religious magazine. Again, it is a celebration of life. So for those who have passed away, those who know they are going to die, it is a good way to learn more about funerals and other things. Here we have some blog articles. Yes, there could be photos over here, but something happened and I was not understanding how to do that. So it doesn't hurt to say yes to get into crafting. That said, in the future, I'm hoping to have some crafting crafts that we can do together via the YouTube page. I also like to read books when I can, and books I like to recommend will be notated here. So we've got some fiction, we've got nonfiction, so that's there for you to check out. Confessions of a Funeral Director by Caleb Wilde, and A Funeral in Blue by Anne Perry. I also like Anne Perry's historical fictions personally, so if you like historical fiction, you're going to like her stuff. Now, this lovely recipe called Pickled Cucumber Salad was donated by a friend on Twitter who is a chef, so it's a bona fide recipe. As we here in the South will take a recipe to a loved one or to a family who has lost a loved one, and you will see that by Chef Carolyn. So thank you again, Chef Carolyn. Now, I did find this book called Being Dead Is No Excuse by Gaden Metcalf and Charlotte Hayes to be hilarious. So I'm going to highly recommend that one. I highly recommend that one. So give that a go. In that one, there's a lot of recipes, and this Bing cherry salad with Coca-Cola seemed pretty cool. So you got to take a box of cherry jello, 1 ounce can of crushed pineapple, 15 ounce can of black cherries, 2 cups of juice from the pineapple and the cherries. You're going to warm that up, and some pecans. Now, I'm personally not into nuts in my food. That's your choice. pecan, however you play it. Just go with it. Okay. Dissolve Jell-O in the hot juice, then add the Coca-Cola and pour it into the dish. And then when the Jell-O starts to congeal, Jell-O. Stir in pineapple, quarter cherries, and pecans or pecans. Chill till firm, and it serves about 16. So, that's a good take two a funeral food or take two a family. Not too expensive. So, Being Dead is No Excuse is a fun book. There are 3 in the pastel series, as they're called. Totally amusing. Now, shopping was mentioned in here, but really it does refer back to my Etsy people, and there will be more Etsy people in the future, but some of them I have promised 2 months, so they will be here for 2 months still. So Etsy is a great place to find some resources, to find local people, read the reviews. So if they have a lot of bad reviews, I don't recommend it, but these people that I found so far have fabulous reviews, but I'm not held accountable for that. You have to judge. But I liked what I saw, and I feel like that would be worthwhile. Now, on certain pages, there will be, in this particular blog here, was a end-of-life plan. So this will be updated. Some of these things will stay. Some of them might go on their own particular page. But as for right now, this was in my blog section called the end-of-life plan. I'm going to get my words right there. And as you can see, there are a few things that you might need to consider, such as life insurance, wills, living wills, power of attorney, letter of instructions. So things you might want to look into in your end-of-life plan. All right. So that does it for the blogs. We move on to Good Grief. So one of the things that drove me to create this magazine was how we plan a year for a wedding, weeks for a birthday party, but we leave the inevitable to float in the breeze like an abandoned candy wrapper. Yep, that's my quote by Ginger. So a couple things that I do on this page, focusing on you, is another book called Funeral Planning, Simply Essential Funeral Planning Kit by Don Cochran, who himself was a funeral director and has some good information. Then for widows, there is a lady out there who has retired now. She's a financial planner. She's got Moving Forward on Your Own. So you could go find her book, A Financial Guidebook for Widows. Very helpful, I'm sure. So you can look up her book or look her up. Widowers. Obviously, it's different for men than women, so we're not leaving anybody out. Herb Knoll, that's HERBKNOLL, lost his wife and has dedicated himself to helping out fellow widowers. So A Widower's Journey, Helping Men Rebuild After Their Loss, is a good book for you guys if you are dealing with this. Loss of faith. This is something we will explore because I know people, not personally, but in general, I know people go a roller coaster ride of emotions after losing a loved one, and sometimes it transforms your faith, makes it stronger, makes you question things, depending on how that person did die. So we will discuss religion, as that is something we all have or don't have in actuality. Some of you may be religious, some of you may not be. That's fine. Again, this magazine's focus is to celebrate life, not to try to convert you to any particular religion. Questions to ask your grandparents was a good thing I found on a Pinterest. I put the link here. 21 questions to ask your grandparents, because there may be things you don't know about people in your family. I mean, you could ask people in your family. It's not that you've got to just stick to grandparents. But there's a lot of things that I personally didn't know about my grandfather, which at the end of the day just was what it was. So when he passed away, I was around 7. It didn't really dawn on me until about a year later, but we all grieve in our different ways, even when we're young. For September's issue, we are blessed to have an article come in by Mary Rodman. Mary Rodman. I want to get that right. Bloom Where You're Planted is a book she wrote. Essentially, when I think of Bloom Where You're Planted, I had thought of Mary Engelbreit and her artwork. But I looked this up, and lo and behold, there was a Mary Rodman who wrote a book. And so we are blessed to have an article from her, and that will be of similar background so that you will see her article here. It is a nice article. It is very touching. It is regarding her sister, and it's a great way to think about handling what people leave behind, as well as just a great article. Again, the boutique stuff here for stationery. Click the link. Ta-da! She's got a lot of stuff for funeral. Thank you cards. You know, just glaze through it. It's your call whether you use it or not, but there she is. I thought it was lovely stuff, and I wanted to put her on here. Now, coloring has become a thing. Again, not just for children. And I wanted to give children a page in this magazine. So this little llama was kindly drawn by a friend of ours who lives overseas. Drawn for me specifically, so I was very blessed to have it. And I wrote a book about this little llama. And I created the story called Yama the Llama, the No Problema Yama. Llama. You gotta say it 5 times fast. Yama the Llama, the No Problema Llama. Alright. So that's the link to that. That may or may not stay. That's my choice. We'll figure that out. I do want to support local artists. So there will be different cards, different months to help out. This is to send these different cards. So you get 6 different cards, either of this style or the style that is shown for that month. Stamps included, $25. Not bad. So you tell us where you want them to go. Same with these 2. They're only $4. And this is the video Nature Walk. This is a yearly subscription for $40 just to get announced when we do things. So, excuse me. So you'll go through urban areas, wildlife areas, never know where we're going to find a great nature walk. You're going to go on a nature walk with me and or a staff member if I'm not available to do that. You will be updated ahead of schedule of everybody else, so you'll know ahead of time and get first live bonuses. You'll also get other things because we're going to talk to people, so there will be exclusive videos for that. And so that is, again, a one-time yearly subscription and also helps support this magazine. So we do ask that we have your email so that we can send you those updates and those special articles. That's me. Woo! Chief Creative Officer. So this page will stay up, so you'll see this again because it's kind of important people know why I bothered to do this, because I found this interesting, and I'm not just doing it to do it. I found it interesting, and I felt like I didn't have answers, and I wanted some answers, so I went out and investigated. And along with that, I thought, well, you know, there's more to a funeral than just putting a body in the ground or your cremated remains or scatter your ashes. There's a lot more to it, so hence there's a lot of good stuff we're going to figure out, uncover, and learn. Now, currently, I don't have any staff writers, so I am open to writers, photographers, and content creators if you want to open up that discussion with me. I don't have a Patreon site right now. That's old. But you can email me, as my email is on the contact page. So easily done. Again, over here, a little disclaimer. If you buy from somebody that is advertising on our site, I can't be held liable. And I will not reply to hate mail, because there's just no point. If you want to send it, but I'm not going to reply to it. So there's that. Let's get back over to the About page real quick, as there was art inspiration. So the cards here were inspired by the artist Romero Brito, whose style is said to be a visual language of love, hope, and happiness. And if you look up his stuff, well, it's bright, it's colorful, it's patterned. You can't go wrong. It is cheery. It's rather cheery. So I kind of copied out of inspiration his martini, his bird with a birdhouse, and then I had some saucy sayings. If you guys just couldn't think of anything to say to someone, no stress. I got you covered. Found this. Sympathy flowers ranked number 2. Receiving sympathy cards, food, and memorial donations ranked number 1. You know, you can't go wrong. Flowers are nice. Doesn't hurt to send a card. Always a nice gesture. Food. Well, we all know about food. But of course, if you don't live nearby, then a card is nice. So this is my little seagull. He's not the mascot. I am open to a mascot situation, but haven't really thought about that too much further than just creating and getting this out there. So thank you for stopping by. Come again. And as we are a monthly magazine, you will see new articles, inspiration, and more. Thank you so much, and thanks for stopping by www. That's 3 W's. Celebrations of Life, celebrations, plural, of Life magazine.com. www.celebrationsoflifemagazine.com.